Welcome back, YouTube. Today is spray day for our customer's job, and this makes between 450 and 500 jobs that we've done thus far. We've been doing this for 7 years. I noticed there's a lot of interest around people that want to do their own kitchen, and so I thought I'd make this video to kind of help you along. Maybe you'll pick something up from it that can kind of help you in your journey in doing that. It's not particularly hard to do, but you just need to follow some pretty simple rules, and you can do it. And so if you find this video entertaining or informative, it's really an encouragement if you would hit that like button, and if you're so inclined to hit the subscribe button. It really does encourage me to keep these videos up, knowing that people are maybe getting something from them. So I'm just going to go step by step through here, and give you some things first of all before I start spraying that are going to potentially make the job go a lot smoother for you. And one of the things is always strain your paint. Strainers are cheap. If you're using new gallons even, or you're using older gallons, strain your paint, because you want to get as much trash as possible. You'd be surprised by how little trash it takes to get through these filters and get up to your gun and cause the gun to spit and such, and it's just a pain. So strain your paint. That's the first thing I'd say. And then use new clean buckets to strain into. Make sure that your buckets are always clean and there's no trash in your buckets. And so now I'm just going to go through some things. I'm going to assume that if you're doing this on your own, that you don't have an airless sprayer. And but if you go rent one to do the job, there's just a couple of things to be aware of. All right, we don't rent sprayers because we do this for a living, and we need a good sprayer. It's going to do like it should. But if you're going to go to rent one, there's a couple filters to have them check before you take it home with you. Inside here, this screws off. There's a filter in here, so have them check that filter. Also have them check in here, right in there. There's another filter. That's an inline gun filter, and you want to make sure that they check that filter, make sure that it's clean and not collapsed or anything. The third filter on it is the pickup hose filter, and so you just want to take a look at it, make sure it's not all clogged up, and that it looks clean, and that'll help you with your picking the paint up. And also, if you're doing oak doors, we generally use a urethane acrylic bonding primer for our doors. But if you have oak doors that you're using that you got to get done, you probably will want to use an oil-based blocking primer, because those grain doors, those oak doors, have tannins in them, and those tannins will seep up, and they will, if you don't use the blocking primer, the oil blocking primer, then that tannin will seep up, and it will seep up all the way through your finish coat, and then you'll end up with brown splotches on your finish coat, and so nobody wants that. So if we have to do oak doors, which is every great once in a while, then we have to use a blocking oil primer. And so I've already mentioned this about the gun. just have them make sure that they check all these filters. And also we use a 412 tip. It'll be a green tip. This is a 412 tip, fine finish tip. That has to go along with the blue spray guard. So you have to have the blue spray guard to go along with the green fine finish tip, and we use a 412 tip, which produces a real fine finish and really does a good job for us. So here's the doors of the job that we got to do, and so we've cleaned them all, and when we take them off, we mark the door so we know where they're going to go back in the drawers, and then we cover them up with a piece of tape so that we don't spray over what we've marked. As far as thinning the paint, you'll want to get the paint thinned to about the consistency of heavy cream. So that's about where you want your consistency to be. I found that, you know, for what I do, that consistency really, you know, gives a good flow, levels real good, and just does a good job for us. Consistency of heavy cream. Now when you go to line your doors up on wherever you're gonna, you know, do your spraying, we use 2x4s leaned across sawhorses. This is how we've always done it, and works real good for us. But you're always going to want to start out spraying on the back side of the door. So the front side will go down. You'll go along and do all your priming, the back sides first. After the back sides are done, you'll wait for them to dry. After they've dried, you'll come along and you'll flip everything over. Flip all your doors over to the front side. And then you'll spray all your front side. When your front side's done, you'll wait for that to dry. You'll come back. You'll flip them again. And you'll put your finish coat on the back. And then once that's dried, you'll flip them again. And you'll put the finish coat on the front. And that way, by starting off doing the backs, you're always flipping toward the front. You know, so if there's any places that ain't totally dry and it might, you know, stick just a little bit or whatever, it'll be on the back side of the doors, and you'll be, you know, flipping those and painting the front. So it's just always better to start, you know, start with the backs and prime those and finish those, and then in that sequence flip them and do the fronts. So I believe that's about all there is, as far as I can tell, to know about before you start spraying. And I've put all the ingredients that we've used down in these and a couple of pictures that you can look at and see what we use. And also there's another video on my channel that shows us doing the inside of the job. So in the customer's house, shows us doing inside the customer's house, and you can go and watch that, and that'll kind of show you the process of how we go through the inside. And then of course this is the process of how we spray the doors. All right, so let's get spraying. Okay guys, so that concludes the spraying. All the doors are finished now, and that was primer and finish coat. But you might have seen this in the last video, but for those that didn't, this is how our drying system is. We put them all on racks. Again, this is a much smaller job than what we usually do. This will hold 60 doors, and our average job is 40 doors. So yeah, but anyway, this is the drying system that we use. We use a dehumidifier, run that the whole time, and the fan while they're in here. And they have to stay on these racks for 2 days, and then they're dry enough to handle, so we can take them in 2 days, get them back to the customer and get them home. And then we tell the customer, wait for 5 days before you really knock around on them, or, you know, don't try to clean them or anything like that for the next 5 days, so that they fully cure. And after they're fully cured, then you can pretty much do whatever you want to them. So the next thing on the agenda is to rehang, and we'll be doing that directly. Okay, if you enjoyed the video, or you thought it was informative or entertaining, all of the above, how about hit that subscribe button for me and that like button? That really means a lot, really encourages me, because this kind of takes a little bit of time putting together these videos, especially since I'm not all that tech savvy. So I would really appreciate it if you did that. If you have any questions, you can leave all those down in the comments. I'll get to them and answer those for you. So hope you enjoyed it. Till next time, Don Doing Stuff, signing off.